So one of the big goals we've set for ourselves is to try and treat Duke Farms as a carbon sink. With everything that you've heard about climate change today, it's probably pretty obvious by now that this is going to be a real stretch to prevent the worst aspects of climate change. If we have any hope of softening that curve and avoiding the most disastrous results, we've got to do everything possible. And that falls into a couple of things. It falls into reducing our carbon footprint, but it also falls into a second category of finding out how we can take carbon out of the atmosphere. And not like a science fiction movie, but how we can really do it.
Effectively communicating any science means conveying messages that are actionable, and doing that means conveying an optimistic message. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So those are challenges with communicating science. These are additional challenges associated with communicating climate change and climate science and climate policy, which is that you kind of can't see it, right? It does, for many people, seem very far off, and I'll show you some polling data that shows that most people don't think it's going to affect them. That we haven't really changed the policies in terms of the market signals, right? There's still not clear messages out there saying we're going to transition our economy to one that is a clean energy-based economy. And there's certainly the concepts about uncertainty, right? So when you're sitting at the Thanksgiving table, someone inevitably is going to say, but not all scientists believe that, right? And so learning to communicate uncertainty is important. And one of the most important parts about communicating uncertainty is communicating the simple fact that all science is evolving.
We do have a lot of challenges. People, one of the things about education, I think the previous speaker talked about it, you can come up with all the greatest policies in the world. If you're not able to communicate with the people and you're not engage the people, then it just becomes the opposition to a good policy becomes stronger and stronger. So, as they say in Washington, speak here, wheels get more grease. So you have to engage the people and explain to them why it is.
I've been with the company for about 10 years. I can kind of take you through a 10-year history of where our power is generated in the state, at least through public service. Every one of these stations has an interesting story. I mean, the company's been generating electricity for 115 years now. So some of these sites have actually been around that long. We just, the most recent effort that we had was in Woodbridge Township. We put in a brand new state-of-the-art combined cycle power plant, burns natural gas. It's the most efficient natural gas burning power plant in the United States. The technology evolves very consistently. And right now, General Electric makes the most efficient power plant that you can offer that burns fossil fuels.
So we referenced the ACEEE scorecard this morning, so that's the American Council for an Energy Efficiency Economy, that rates states on how they're doing on energy efficiency. So for the first time in several years, New Jersey got a bump up in their score. We went from 23 to 18. We got a lot of rhetoric right now saying we want to be the clean energy leader. So Massachusetts is there right now. If we want to knock them off the pedestal and we say we want to be that, we may have to be prepared to be spending more towards this. So not at the macro level, where Jen was trying to set some of those pieces, but at the individual level, if you go to that same report, look at the tables in the back, the surcharges that support a lot of these clean energy initiatives. New Jersey right now is paying about $40 a household a month, $40 a year. Massachusetts is paying $240 a year. So the same, phone calls that say, are you interested in supporting clean energy? In the abstract, everybody says yes. Why wouldn't I want cleaner energy?
So for us in Sustainable Jersey, there's so much power at the local level, but not a lot of capacity. So we wanted to take advantage of all these local strengths to try to drive change on big statewide issues? How can we enlist local governments to collectively, en masse, implement impactful policies that, again, will scale up to solve our big issues like climate change, water, redevelopment, or a bunch of other things?
My working definition is that any system is sustainable if it can operate over the long term without degrading either its own function or the environment in which it operates. You can apply that as a very practical definition. You could apply that to an ecosystem, to an economy, to a business. You could apply it to a lot of different things. I think it's a very good definition for our energy systems overall. And you can, just based on that, you can describe what a sustainable energy environment would look like. It needs to be affordable, consistently affordable. It needs to be available in the form that it's really needed, when and where. It needs to be clean across the entire food chain of extraction, generation, and distribution. It needs to be ultimately inexhaustible. We can't depend on sources of energy that we know are going to run out. If you're a shoemaker and you know you're going to run out of leather, you're not going to be a shoemaker much longer. It needs to meet some higher societal goals like being safe, universally available for all of our citizens, and then being secure and reliable and equitably available.